In FIFA 20, Allan Saint-Maximin was 80 overall with 86 potential. Fast forward 5 years later and now he's just 81 overall with no potential. Today we save Allan Saint-Maximin's career. And of course here he is starting season 1 at Fenerbahçe on loan from the Saudi League. He is coming in at 81 overall. And of course the first thing we need to do is get Saint-Maximin in training. Kicking off the first game of the season and it was not the best start, to be honest. Of course coming on as a substitute, and we did start off almost scoring an unbelievable goal with Saint-Maximin. However, they did manage to get through and get a goal back to make it 2-2. Also conceded a penalty where they did step up and they did of course slot it home to take the lead in this game since Maximin come on, and they did lead 3-2. Although we did try to fight back and Nasri managed to get through and scored an unbelievable goal off the post, of course, to equalise the game at 3-3. Although they did manage to get in yet another penalty and he did finish it to of course take the lead at 4-3, and they did end up winning the game, losing our first game 4-3. And Maxi walking away with a pretty poor 5.9 overall out of 10. Second game of the season though, and we're working on again as a substitute, this time up against Besiktas, and this game could not be more opposite to the one before. Allan Saint-Maximin get a pass through straight away and managing to make it 1-0 since coming on as a sub. Besiktas did answer back though with a goal of their own, passing through to Rashika, who did manage to tuck it away of course to equalise the game at 1-1. And it did start to go a little bit wrong as it did get through yet again, passed inside to Rafa, and Rafa did tuck it away to of course take the lead in this game at 2-1. Although Saint-Maximin was not having it, he managed to dribble through pretty much the whole defence, managing to dink it into En-Nesyri, and En-Nesyri did slot it home to equalise at 2-2. And just to make more of an impact, the ball did get slotted over to Saint-Maxi, passed it into En-Nesyri, and he did slot it home in a very unselfish assist to manage to make it 3-2, and that is how we won the game, and Saint-Maxi would walk away with a 10 out of 10 rating. Also securing man of the match and securing his place into the starting 11. 4 games into the season and Fenerbahçe are currently sat in 12th place, and it has not been a bad start for Saint-Maxi. 2 goals and 2 assists in 7 games, not too bad at all for him, to be fair. Halfway through the season now and Fenerbahçe have improved a bit and they're up into 5th place now. We are of course into the round of 16 of the Turkish Cup, into the Europa League, and they are sat in 21st place, so not very good at all, to be fair. Saint-Maxi though has not had a bad start to the season. He is now up to an 83 overall. Also 10 goals and 6 assists in 28 games for Saint-Maxi, definitely getting involved, and he is starting to look pretty good. Of course moving on into the round of 16 of the Turkish Cup, and we did win the game at 2-1. Of course into the quarter-final, and we did win the game yet again at 2-1. Moving into the Europa League action though now, and we are into the round of 16, and we did win the first leg against Olympiacos 1-0, and of course we did win the second leg 3-1 on aggregate, Saint-Maxi scoring 2. Into the quarter-final where we come up against Galatasaray, and the first leg was just a 2-2 draw, of course Saint-Maxi scoring yet again. And in the reverse fixture though, we did manage to get through, beating them 4-3 on aggregate. Moving back into the Turkish Cup though, and we do come up against Galatasaray yet again, although we do lose this game, losing 1-0. And although we tried our best in the second leg, we did go out in the semi-finals, losing 4-2 on aggregate. Moving back into the Europa League though, and we are back into semi-finals, this time's up against Lazio, and we did lose the first game 2-0. Although in the second leg, somehow we completely obliterated them, scoring 4 goals and beating them 4-2 on aggregate. That of course means we are into the Europa League final, and we do face Tottenham Hotspur, and it was not a good start as Sonny did step up with a penalty, and he did slot it, almost getting saved by the keeper, but they did of course make it 1-0. Although Saint-Maxi was not having any of that, I mean taking on the whole team again himself, cutting inside and scoring it into the top bins to equalise the game at 1-1. Unfortunately though, Tottenham did get through yet again, this time with Brennan Johnson cutting down this wing, cutting it inside, almost getting to it. However, Bentancur cutting it into Son, and they get very lucky, I'm not going to lie, bounces back to Son, and they do manage to make it 2-1. And we did unfortunately lose the first final of the video, losing 2-1 to Tottenham. Ending the season now, and Fenerbahçe have moved quite well up the league as they are now sat sat in 3rd place. Of course, getting knocked out in the semi-final of the Turkish Cup to Galatasaray. And of course, coming close to the Europa League trophy, however, losing 2-1 to Tottenham in the final. Saint-Maximin, though, has had a great season of growth, as he is now up to an 86 overall at 28 years of age. And of course, meeting his FIFA 20 potential. And not only a great season of growth, it's been a great season overall. 29 goals and 11 assists in 60 games for Allan Saint-Maximin. Surely he's going to get a decent move here. And I mean, it's not the best move in the world, but we are moving back to the Premier League, and we've got a decent offer from Bournemouth. So of course, season 2 starts off with Allan Saint-Maximin moving back to the Premier League. He is on his way to Bournemouth, and it's not been a bad little pre-season for Saint-Maxi. 2 goals in 3 games for him so far, and kicking off the Premier League season for Allan Saint-Maximin in Bournemouth, and we did come up against Tottenham, and there was just 1 goal in it, and Saint-Maximin was the one to assist it, slotting through Evanilson, and of course he did put it into the top bins to make it 1-0. Of course, instant impact from Saint-Maxi means we win our first game of the Premier League. 4 games into the season, and it has been a pretty good start for Bournemouth, as they are currently sat in 4th place, and Saint-Maximin has been pretty crucial to that. 4 goals and 2 assists in 8 games. He has definitely had a pretty good start. Into the round of 16 of the Carabao Cup, though, as we come up against Aston Villa. Unfortunately, though, we did get completely battered 4-0. Halfway through the season now, and Bournemouth have dropped a little bit, although pretty good still for them, as they are sat in 8th place. Of course, we did get knocked out very early in the Carabao Cup, losing 4-0 to Aston Villa. We are, of course, still, though, in the FA Cup, where we come up against West Brom. Although it has not been the best season in terms of games for Saint-Maximin, his growth has definitely been one to watch. Now up to an 88 overall. I mean, he is starting to look completely ridiculous. Also walking away with 11 goals and 5 assists in just 25 games back in the Premier League. I mean, a pretty good first half of the season so far. Into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup as we come up against Everton, and unfortunately we do get knocked out of another cup as we lost 3-1. End of the season now with Bournemouth, and we did manage to finish in a pretty decent 7th place, to be fair. And Saint-Maximin is now up to a ridiculous 89 overall at 29 years of age. I mean, he is just looking insane, and it's not been a bad season of goal contributions for him. 16 goals and 9 assists in 47 games. I mean, it's not bad at all, but there is definitely a little bit of room for improvement there. Although he has done his best to impress Didier Deschamps, as he is being called up to the French national team for the World Cup. And kicking off the first game of the World Cup, we do come up against Hungary, and it's a pretty convincing start as we do beat them 3-1. Saint-Maxi scoring 2. Second game of the group stage, and we do come up against United States, and it's another win as we beat them 2-1. Last game of the group stage, and we do come up against Finland, and it's another convincing win, this time 3-0. Into the round of 16 as we come up against Morocco, and we do manage to beat them 2-1. Saint-Maxi scoring the winner. Into the quarter-final of the World Cup as we face Poland, and we do just about beat them, though, beating them 3-2. Into the semi-final, and we have our toughest game yet, coming up against Argentina, and we do manage to get through to the final thanks to Kylian Mbappe, and it is 2-1. And we are into the final, and I'm not gonna lie, we have gotten pretty lucky. We are facing Ghana in the final of the World Cup. It's the biggest game of Saint-Maxi's career. Is he going to step up? I mean, we definitely need him to. Hernandez on this wing already looking dangerous into Saint-Maxi. Saint-Maxi flicking over their heads. He's coming back on himself again. Saint-Maxi. Oh, imagine if he scored that. Hernandez again up this wing. Saint-Maxi is making a somewhat decent run here. Saint-Maxi cuts inside. That's unbelievable from him. Still Saint-Maximin, and he tucks it home to make it 1-0 in the 15th minute over Ghana. What a start and what a goal. Oh, Ghana on the attack here. That is a nice ball over to Mensah. Outside to Kudus. Cuts inside. Iñaki Williams. Oh, awful shot. Iñaki Williams up this wing. Looking pretty dangerous. Inside to Fatawu, and he's missed the target completely. Kylian Mbappe makes an unbelievable pass through to Saint-Maxi, and Saint-Maxi slots at home, scoring his brace, and he makes it 2-0 for France. Oh no, Ghana on the attack, passes inside to Fatawu. Fatawu makes it awkward and goes for goal, and he gets a goal back. It's 2-1, game is back on. Nice. Theo Hernandez through to Mbappe. That is an unbelievable ball through to Saint-Maxi. Saint-Maxi has a chance to score a hat-trick, and he does exactly that. And what a goal it was, duping the keeper. But what a ball that was from Mbappe. Surely that is game over. Kudus could be up this wing. Again, causing some problems. Back post. That's a penalty. How on earth is that a penalty? Kudus could make this a very awkward last minute, but never mind. My nan is all over it, and surely that is game over. And there we go, the game is over, and France have managed to win the World Cup yet again. This time though, in an unbelievable turn of events, Allan Saint-Maximin managing to score a hat-trick to solidify the World Cup for them. And there we go, of course, the first trophy of the video, and it is a huge one in the World Cup. And the World Cup has put huge eyes on Allan Saint-Maximin as he is getting eyed up by Manchester City. So of course, season 3 starts off on the back of winning the World Cup. Allan Saint-Maximin signs for Manchester City. And it's not been a bad little pre-season for Saint-Maximin. 1 goal and 1 assist in 3 games, not too shabby. Starting the season off, and we are coming up against Ipswich, and there was just 1 goal in it. It came from a chance from Saint-Maximin. His shot got blocked, fouled to Foden, and Phil Foden put it into the back of the net to of course make it 1-0 and to win the game at 1-0 in Saint-Maxi's first game for Man City. Into the round of 16 of the Carabao Cup as we come up against Leicester, and we do manage to beat them just 1-0. Saint-Maxi scoring yet again. Into the quarter-final, and we have a big game up against Arsenal, and we do manage to beat them 3-1 again. Saint-Maxi having a game and a half. Halfway through the season, and Manchester City of course are leading the way, although they are joint with Liverpool. We are of course still in the FA Cup as we come up against Sheffield United, and of course into the semi-final of the Carabao Cup where we face Newcastle. And the Champions League is not going too bad as we are also sat in 7th place. And it's been another insane season of growth for Saint-Maxi, now up to a 91 overall, definitely becoming one of the best players in the world. Also walking away 16 goals and 5 assists in 31 games, definitely a season to remember so far for Saint-Maxi. Moving on though, and of course we are into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, and we get a nice win in the first leg, beating them 3-0. And in the second leg it's complete domination as we beat them 8-1 on aggregate. That of course means we are into the final of the Carabao Cup, and we actually come up against Brentford. And it started off well, Erling Haaland managing to break through, passing back to Saint-Maxi, cutting inside and putting it into the back of the net to make it 1-0. And just to top it off, we did get a penalty where of course Erling Haaland did slot it home to finish the game off in the 86th minute at 2-0. And of course we did end up winning the game at 2-0. It's Saint-Maxi's first trophy at Manchester City as he lifts his second trophy of the video. Moving on though, and we are into the round of 16 of the FA Cup as we face West Ham, and we completely obliterate them 4-0. Into the quarter-final as we face Nottingham Forest, and it's another obliteration 4-1. Moving into the Champions League though, and we are into the round of 16 up against PSG, and the first game is just a 1-1 draw, although in the second leg we do manage to get through, beating them 3-2 on aggregate. Into the quarter-final of the Champions League, and we come up against Arsenal, and we get a decent little result in the first leg, beating them 2-0, and in the second leg we beat them 2-0 yet again. We have semi-final action though as we face Brentford in the FA Cup, and we do get our ticket to the final as we beat them 3-1. Moving back into the Champions League, and we have another semi-final, and it's a very tough game up against Real Madrid, and unfortunately we do lose the first leg 2-1. Although in the second leg we had an unbelievable game, managing to beat them 5-3 on aggregate. Into another final though, and it is of course the FA Cup as we come up against Leeds United, and it was a good little game for Manchester City. Saint-Maximin managed to get through way too easy, and of course slotting it into the back of the net to kick the scoring off at 1-0 for Manchester City. And Erling Haaland would finish the game off with a nice ball inside, which of course was always going to be an easy tuck for Erling Haaland to make it 2-0. And he did get played through yet again later on in the game, and of course he slotted it home to eventually finish the game off at 3-0 and picking up yet another trophy for Allan Saint-Maximin. Moving on straight away from that though, and of course we do have the Champions League final up against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich on the attack. That's a nice ball. Musiala through to Elise. That is an unbelievable ball. And Elise's got way too much space. And of course, he's always going to slot that home. He makes it 1-0 for Bayern Munich in just the 16th minute. Nice. Haaland into Saint-Maxi. That's not a good ball at all. Saint-Maxi into Erling Haaland. He's got some space over here to Phil Foden. Phil Foden, he's got somebody in the middle. He's going to have to try and use Palacios. It's saved, although it's bounced back to him. And Palacios equalises the game at 1-1. Phil Foden up this wing, cutting inside beautifully, passes through Erling Haaland. That is a great ball. Surely he's going to tuck that home, and of course he does. He makes the game 2-1 just before the half. That's exactly what we wanted. Oh no, Bayern Munich could be on the attack again. Inside to Harry Kane, goes for goal. What an awful shot. We could have one more attack here. That's a nice ball over to Saint-Maximin. He's going to try and be fancy with it. He can't get to it though. And there we go. Game over. And Manchester City have managed to win the Champions League. And more importantly, Allan Saint-Maximin has managed to win the Champions League. And there we go. Of course, it's another trophy. It's another huge one. And it is the Champions League. Player of the season time. Has Allan Saint-Maximin done what he needs to do to win it here? I mean, he has had an unbelievable season, so there's potential. And it is looking like Allan Saint-Maximin has won the player of the season in the Premier League. What a season. And of course, ending the season, and Manchester City have managed to win the quadruple this season, as they did also walk away winning the league by 11 points. Of course, winning the FA Cup, beating Leeds 3-0. Winning the Carabao Cup, beating Brentford 2-0. Winning the Champions League, where we of course beat Bayern Munich in a close game 2-1. And Saint-Maximin walking away at 30 years of age at 92 overall. I mean, his stats just looking completely ridiculous. Definitely one of the best players in the world. Also walking away with some absolutely ridiculous stats. 36 goals and 16 assists in 68 games for Saint-Maximin. Nobody would have ever thought that would have been possible. Of course, winning the World Cup with France last season, and then winning the quadruple with Manchester City this season. With those stats, I think Saint-Maximin has well and truly had his career saved.